Days of Our Lives, a desperate fight for survival in the DiMera family crypt. The upcoming episodes of Days of Our Lives promise heart-stopping drama as several beloved members of the DiMera family find themselves trapped in a nightmare scenario that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. What begins as a mysterious disappearance quickly escalates into a full-blown crisis that threatens the lives of Chad, Kristen, Tony, and Theo DiMera. The shocking kidnapping. The week of December 8th to 12th brings devastating news to Salem when multiple members of the powerful DiMera family vanish without a trace. Chad DiMera, along with his siblings Kristen and Tony, mysteriously disappear, sending shockwaves through the community. The situation becomes even more dire when Theo Carver also goes missing, joining the growing list of captives. These aren't just random kidnappings. Omian has orchestrated an elaborate plan to target the DiMera family specifically. The victims find themselves imprisoned in the most unlikely of places, a dark, cold underground crypt. Cut off from the outside world, buried beneath layers of earth and stone, the four captives must rely on each other to survive this terrifying ordeal. The crypt itself becomes a character in this harrowing story. Imagine the claustrophobic horror of being trapped in a burial chamber, surrounded by the remains of the dead, with no clear way out. The air grows stale and thin. The darkness is absolute except for whatever meager light source they might have. Every sound echoes off the stone walls, amplifying their fear and desperation. Life in captivity, a living nightmare. As days turn into what feels like an eternity, the imprisoned DiMeras face conditions that test their physical endurance and mental fortitude. The question of basic human needs becomes increasingly urgent and disturbing. Where are they getting food and water? How are they managing sanitation in this underground tomb? These aren't pleasant thoughts, but they're the grim reality of their situation. Viewers watching these scenes can't help but wonder about the most fundamental aspects of survival. The show hints at these uncomfortable truths when Kristen is discovered attempting to dig through the earth. Is she trying to create an escape route? Or is she desperately trying to solve the sanitation crisis that must exist in their confined space? It's a question that hangs in the air, unspoken but impossible to ignore. The discovery of human bones buried in one of the crypts adds another layer of horror to their predicament. As they explore their prison, searching desperately for any means of escape, they uncover skeletal remains that have been hidden underground. This macabre finding raises terrifying questions. Who was this person? How long were they trapped here? Did they die trying to escape, just as the DiMeras are attempting now? The presence of these bones serves as a chilling reminder of what could happen if rescue doesn't come soon. The desperate search. Back in Salem, panic spreads as the DiMera family's absence becomes impossible to ignore. A.J. DiMera, ever the protective brother and family patriarch, mobilizes every resource at his disposal to find his missing siblings. Meanwhile, Abe Carver faces every parent's worst nightmare as his son Theo vanishes without explanation. The emotional toll on both men is immeasurable as they race against time to locate their loved ones. The investigation becomes increasingly frantic as hours turn into days. Every lead is pursued, every contact questioned, every possible location searched. The Salem Police Department, led by Rafe Hernandez, works around the clock to solve this disturbing case. But finding people buried alive in an underground crypt is no easy task. Kidnappers have chosen their hiding place well. The race against time. As the captives struggle to survive in their underground prison, their physical condition deteriorates. The lack of proper food, clean water, and fresh air takes its toll. Tempers fray under the stress. Hope begins to fade, but the DiMeras are fighters, and they refuse to give up. They continue searching for weaknesses in their prison, testing every stone, examining every corner, looking for any possible way to signal for help or break free. Kristen's frantic digging represents more than just a practical attempt at escape or solving sanitation issues. It symbolizes the raw human drive to survive against all odds. Even as her hands bleed and her strength wanes, she keeps digging. This determination inspires the others to keep fighting, to keep hoping that rescue will come. The dramatic rescue. Finally, breakthrough comes. Whether through brilliant detective work by Rafe Hernandez, AJ's relentless pursuit of answers, or Abe's desperate searching after Theo's disappearance, the captive's location is discovered. The rescue operation unfolds with military precision as emergency services rush to the crypt. Time is of the essence. No one knows how much longer the prisoners can survive in their underground tomb. The moment rescuers break through to the crypt is nothing short of miraculous. Sunlight streams into the darkness for the first time in days. Fresh air rushes in. The sounds of familiar voices calling their names bring tears of relief and joy. One by one, Chad, Kristen, Tony, and Theo are brought out of their underground prison, weak but alive. The emotional reunions that follow are powerful and moving. EJ embraces his siblings, overcome with relief that they survived. Abe holds Theo close, grateful beyond words to have his son back safely. The trauma of their ordeal is evident in their faces, their voices, their movements, but they're alive. And that's what matters most. Unraveling the mystery. But even as the DiMera family celebrates their rescue and recovery, questions remain. The mysterious bones discovered in the crypt demand investigation. Rafe Hernandez and his team work quickly to analyze the skeletal remains, hoping they might provide clues about who orchestrated this elaborate kidnapping and why. When the forensic results come back, they reveal a shocking identity. Rafe gathers EJ and the other DiMeras to share what they've learned about the person whose bones were found in that underground tomb. This revelation promises to open new chapters in the investigation and may explain the motivations behind the kidnapping. Was this an act of revenge? A warning? Part of a larger conspiracy against the DiMera family. The identification of these remains could connect to old DiMera family secrets, past crimes, or enemies thought long forgotten. In Salem, the past never stays buried literally. In this case, the DiMera's history is filled with complicated relationships, betrayals, and scores left unsettled. A Christmas miracle. Despite the horror of his kidnapping and captivity, Chad DiMera receives the greatest gift of all: chance to spend Christmas with his children. After being rescued from the crypt, he makes it home in time for the beloved Horton family Christmas tradition. Thomas and Charlotte DiMera will have their father with them for the holidays, a blessing that seemed impossible just days before. This homecoming is especially meaningful given the ongoing custody drama that has complicated Chad's relationship with his children. After everything he's endured, after facing the very real possibility that he might never see them again, being present for Christmas takes on profound significance. The joy of watching them hang ornaments on the Horton family tree, of holding them close, of simply being there, these moments become precious beyond measure. The contrast between the darkness of the crypt and the warmth of Christmas with family couldn't be more stark. It reminds viewers that even in our darkest moments, hope remains. Even when buried alive, literally or figuratively, rescue can come. Love endures. Family matters. And sometimes, we get our Christmas miracles. The aftermath and moving forward. The rescue marks the end of one nightmare but the beginning of another journey recovery. The psychological trauma of being kidnapped and buried alive doesn't disappear the moment rescuers break through the crypt walls. Chad, Kristen, Tony, and Theo will need time to process what happened to them, to heal both physically and emotionally. The investigation into who orchestrated this elaborate kidnapping continues. The DiMera family wants answers and, undoubtedly, justice. Someone went to extraordinary lengths to trap and terrorize them, and that person or persons must be found and held accountable. As Rafe and his team dig deeper into the case, more secrets will likely emerge, potentially exposing new threats and old enemies. For viewers who have followed these characters through countless trials and tribulations, this dramatic storyline delivers the suspense and emotion that Days of Our Lives does best. The kidnapping, the desperate survival, the dramatic rescue, and the mysterious bones all combine to create compelling television that keeps audiences invested and eager to see what happens next in Salem. Next, Days of Our Lives spoilers. What does Sophia truly want? A quiet hospital room turns into Salem's next big mystery. Wednesday's episode in Salem brings an unsettling mix of secrets, family tension, and a young woman fighting silently for answers that may change her entire future. What begins as a whispered conversation in a dimly lit hospital room slowly unfolds into one of the most emotionally charged mysteries of the season. What does Sophia truly want and how far is she willing to go to get it? This installment continues directly from the events of the previous day, pulling viewers deeper into a storyline filled with guilt, hidden motives, questions about the past, and the fragile bonds that tie siblings together. Sophia breaks her silence, but only for one person. When the episode begins, Sophia is still lying in her hospital bed, maintaining the fluid she has relied on for days, pretending to be in a coma. It's a risky game, and one that could easily collapse, but Sophia believes it is her only way to gain the advantage she desperately needs. But on this particular afternoon, she decides to break the silence for Rachel. Sophia tells Rachel that her coma was an accident thing she did to win, though she doesn't fully explain what victory she believes she is chasing. She isn't ready to speak to doctors, nurses, or even the rest of her family. But she opens up to Rachel because she wants to comfort her, sensing the emotional turmoil swirling around the young woman. Surprisingly, Rachel understands. She feels the weight of emotional chaos all too well, and she promises to keep Sophia's secret. Their shared moment is quiet, intense, and built on the fragile connection of two young women who have both faced more trauma than most adults in Salem. But the peace doesn't last long. Rachel's shocking question changes everything. As the two continue whispering, Rachel suddenly reveals the reason she herself was placed under psychiatric commitment, something that startles even Sophia. Rachel asks her bluntly, "You almost killed two people. On purpose, on purpose?" The question lands like a hammer. Rachel's expression is equal parts fear and confusion, and Sophia's face tightens as the weight of her past choices presses on her chest. There is genuine danger in the Irna physical, but emotional. Secrets like these have a way of unraveling slowly and painfully, especially in Salem. Rachel warns her softly but firmly, she must be more careful. One wrong move, one overheard conversation, one slip and everything could fall apart. But even this shocking exchange doesn't distract Sophia from her primary goal. Sophia's true mission, finding out what happened to her child. Underneath the lies, the fear, and the strange power struggle with medical staff, Sophia is driven by a single purpose. She wants to know who adopted her child. This is the mission fueling her secrecy, her emotional withdrawal, and her risky act of pretending to be unconscious. Before Rachel can share anything she might know, the room is suddenly thrown into chaos. Tate bursts through the door completely unaware of the delicate and highly confidential moment he has just interrupted. Immediately, Sophia panics and retreats back into her silent act. She flips her mute switch on and resumes the performance of a comatose patient. Tate remains clueless, but Rachel stiffens. She knows everything Sophia just confided is now locked away again. A hint of resurrection elsewhere in Salem. While all of this unfolds, Salem is buzzing with another looming twist: rumors that EJ may be involved in resurrecting someone viewers believed was long gone. The writers drop this small hint with purpose, signaling that the show may be gearing up for a storyline involving old secrets, unexpected returns, and unfinished business. But for now, that mystery remains in the background, overshadowed by the drama inside the hospital. Sophia leaves, and Rachel's patience finally snaps. Sophia eventually slips out of the room, needing distance and time to think. Yet the tension does not fade with her absence. Rachel is no longer interested in Tate's playful antics, especially when he admits he wasn't actually carrying a toy like he claimed. The truth is, Rachel is emotionally overwhelmed. Between keeping Sophia's dangerous secret and handling her own guilt and confusion, she is stretched thin. When a nurse approaches to announce that visiting hours are over, Rachel loses control and panics. Her outburst sends a ripple through the hallway, hinting that her emotional state is becoming increasingly unstable. Viewers may find themselves wondering whether Rachel is inching toward another crisis. Tate refuses to give up on Sophia. Despite the nurse's warning, Tate has no intention of leaving the hospital quietly. He slips away and heads straight to Sophia's room, determined to reach her. He speaks to her gently, almost pleading, hoping she will break her silence and give him anything. But Sophia stays wrapped in her false coma, refusing to respond. Eventually, Tate gives up for the moment. He promises he will come back to see her again, even though he has no idea what kind of dangerous puzzle he is stepping deeper into. What is Sophia's endgame? By the end of the episode, viewers are left with far more questions than answers. Why is Sophia truly pretending to be in a coma? How far will she go to uncover the truth about her child's adoption? Will Rachel keep her promise, or will the pressure eventually break her? And how soon will Tate stumble into the truth and the danger that comes with it? One thing is certain, this quiet hospital storyline is building towards something explosive. Sophia's secrets are too heavy, Rachel's emotions are too unstable, and Tate is far too persistent. Sooner or later, something will break, and when it does, Salem will feel the shockwaves.